Hello, welcome back to my channel, and today we are talking about Xabi Alonso becoming Pep Guardiola's replacement. So let's just get straight into it, and I'll go into the news article first, and then I'll go to a tactical board to really analyze what Xabi Alonso would be doing at Manchester City compared to what Pep Guardiola does. What do they do similarly? What do they do differently? Well, first I want to talk about this article, which pretty much claims that Xabi Alonso would maybe go to Manchester City if Pep Guardiola leaves at the end of the season. Now, you have to be aware, Pep Guardiola and Khaldun Nurburak are probably still in conversations about a new contract. So, if he stays or if he leaves is not yet confirmed. With that said, the club, wisely so, is already looking for a replacement, because you might think you can get his signature again. You still need to have someone to fall back on in case you can't get him to resign. So, Xabi Alonso is a target, apparently. I'm reckoning that Michel Sanchez is also a target, but this video is about Xabi Alonso, not Michel Sanchez. So let's talk about Xabi Alonso. No, I'm not going to play for your row. So, it's difficult to know what team we will have by that time. In this team, I don't have De Bruyne because De Bruyne will not be at Manchester City anymore unless he signs a new deal. I still have Kovacic. I doubt he'll be playing much at that point. I still have Guardiola stepping into midfield. I don't think he will be doing that anymore by the time Xabi Alonso is here. I think he'll have gone into a more central defensive position. But that's not really the point of this. The point of this is just getting 4 defenders on the pitch, 3 midfielders and 3 attackers. And I want to analyze how Xabi Alonso plays compared to Pep Guardiola. So the players in this don't really matter. It's just an example. What would Xabi Alonso do with these players as opposed to Pep Guardiola? So, first of all, Pep Guardiola has recently adopted, and with recently I mean the treble season, adopted this box midfield, which has worked really well for us when it works properly, but when it doesn't work, so the box midfield pretty much, what it does is, when Rodri is on the pitch, it becomes impossible to create a counter-attack through the middle of the pitch. That's why it works so well, because you can't counter through this middle side of the pitch, so we are forced out on the wings. This is the strength of the box midfield, that is why we have continued to play it. Our weakness is that it removes a bit of mobility for the midfielders, because they have certain positions that they have to be in. Like, De Bruyne is pretty much the only midfielder in our current system that is allowed to rotate freely. That will be Foden in this one. But I don't think that's as big a deal as I might be sounding here. The real weakness is that you need fast fullbacks when you play this system. So Walker is a fast fullback, Diaz clearly not. That is why this box midfield has not really worked for a lot of the season. And if you look back at the season, a lot of the chances that we have conceded came from the left hand side because Diaz was forced to deal with counters coming from the left. Now, the other problem with the box midfield is we don't really always know how to make it. Sometimes we push up Walker and put it was Bernardo Silva here throughout the season, and put our winger into the box midfield. This is a weakness of the box midfield. You need very specialized players to be able to do this. So you need someone from a different position to step into midfield and someone else to cover that position. And I'm not going to cover it too much. I've made a detailed analysis video on Manchester City this season. But this is how we generally play under Pep Guardiola. Of course, with different players, but we don't know what players we will have in 25. So just humor me with this. Now, how would Xabi Alonso probably play and how would it work out? Now, first of all, Xabi Alonso likes having wingers that actually do their job as wingers. What Pep Guardiola likes is having wingers just touch the touchline and not do anything, or cut inside and play as midfielders. Xabi Alonso prefers having more classical wingers, that will certainly suit Savio and will certainly suit Doku. Xabi Alonso also plays a more direct style of football. It is not direct football, it's still possession-based football, but he is more direct than Pep Guardiola. If there is a chance to counter, Xabi Alonso's team will play it forward. Not with Manchester City where we hold onto the ball sometimes. That will certainly benefit Haaland. Now there are weaknesses though, and Xabi Alonso won't play in this formation. Xabi Alonso would probably play something more like this. And what's the first weakness with this compared to the box midfield? Well, it's that you don't have the box midfield anymore. So to create an overload now when attacking, you either need your attacker to drop in, you need your fullback or your left back to step in, which again that just creates a box midfield and Xabi Alonso won't do that. Or you need your wingers to step in, and then you might have to force your fullbacks forwards, which Xabi Alonso has done at some points, like with Frimpong. Frimpong has been going up and forward through the pitch a lot this season. But the biggest problem with this is... no. Come on. It's not working. There you go. The biggest problem with this is that you no longer have this protection from counter-attacks through the middle. With a box midfield, you have two pivots who stop any counter-attacks from the middle. You force teams out to the sides, to the flanks, where they aren't as dangerous if you have a fast fullback. The strength, however, is now you have theoretically more people in defense. You can get in a defensive possession more quickly. With Rodri on the pitch, you should theoretically be able to stop any counter-attacks from building up anyways. But this will lead to more chances conceded, which might seem weird as we had a very poor defensive season. But the season we just had, where we were very poor defensively without a box midfield, that is an outlier. We will not have that again next season, because we now have the players we want to play a box midfield. We now know how to make our box midfield. So, a box midfield is really optimized to attack more, hold possession, concede little chances. Xabi Alonso prefers a more classical 4-3-3. And the good thing about that is it will definitely benefit our forward three, who like to play a more direct style of football and who like to cross in the ball and stuff like that, or score from crosses. It will also, I don't think Foden is benefited or deficited by this. I think Foden can play any system you put him in, as long as you let him have a major role in the system. Again, Rodri or Bruno Guimaraes, if we actually get him, should be able to prevent counterattacks. The real problem is, when we can't prevent counterattacks, balls will be coming in behind us and we will concede a lot of goals that way. We will concede even more goals from counterattacks than we have done previously. But we will also be scoring more, we will be more free scoring, we will probably look more fluid on the pitch. When we are in a box midfield, we sometimes don't have players on the wings or backwards to pass to, and that creates a scenario where we play slowly. With Xabi Alonso, we would probably play faster, and Xabi Alonso doesn't mind losing the ball. If Pep Guardiola's teams have the ball, the first rule is don't lose it. Xabi Alonso doesn't mind losing the ball as long as you can create a chance. So if you have an opportunity to create a chance, for example with Foden will just play it into the box rather than going around and playing in this shape, which we do all too often in my opinion. So how will Xabi Alonso play at Manchester City? In conclusion, to summarize, more direct, we'll concede more goals, we'll score more goals. And the real question is, how good can Xabi Alonso adapt his team to bring out the best from our attackers? Because Xabi Alonso is not as defensively minded as Pep Guardiola. And I think that's very similar to how Pep Guardiola was when he was at Barcelona. When Pep Guardiola first became manager, he didn't care about defending. And I think Xabi Alonso definitely cares more about defending than Pep did back then. But it's similar to Pep Guardiola. When Pep Guardiola was a new manager, defending wasn't that big of a deal to him. Now Pep Guardiola has learned a bit the importance of defending. I think Xabi Alonso is just go in, try to score as many goals. But again, that might also be a symptom of the Bundesliga where it has common. Will Xabi Alonso be very similar to Pep Guardiola? Yes. There are differences. Mainly, we won't be playing with a box midfield anymore. Maybe we can still play with a box midfield if we get Bruno Guimaraes in and then just play with 4 midfielders and 3 defenders, and then maybe drop Rodri into a centre back position for defending. But I don't like the idea of that. So I don't think if we get Xabi Alonso, box midfield is probably dead. But we will be playing a lot more directly, which I do like. So there's pros and cons to it. I like the box midfield. I also like direct football. You can't have your cake and eat it. So with that said, thank you for watching the video to the end. Tell me down below what you think about Xabi Alonso, if he could be a good replacement for Pep Guardiola, if you would rather have Michel Sanchez, or if you would rather have Pep Guardiola stays, of course. Thank you for watching to the end. Please do like and subscribe, it helps the channel out a ton, and I'll see you on the next one.